Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, the only series that insert bad schedule joke right here. Yeah, took about a week off because I was trying to edit a different video on my second channel that I'm still not going to name because I really want to see how far it can get on its own. But I'm lazy, and I'm sorry. But let's not dwell on the past. Today we're going to be looking into a personal favorite of mine that I had very high hopes for when I returned to it because it kind of just fills that sort of role that you don't really remember, but it's one of those things that you're like, I need to remember this one because there's one scene in particular that's beautiful that I just need to remember, but I can't. And you never remember the name. Well, today, I'm going to be talking about that one. As you can see by the title, today we're going to be reviewing episode 1, and I believe the only episode, of Fela Pure. There's a longer name to it, but if you want to know the rest of it, it's going to be in the title. I'm tired of reading off all these long-ass names. Fela Pure runs at about 29 minutes and 40-something seconds, done by our friends over at Pink Pineapple, with a total of, I believe, 9 categories. Notable of which are, comedy, can't start your sex scenes without it. Let's just say it takes place in the residence of an Alabama family. If you understand what that means, bless your heart. Chromosome pool is not looking great. And, you know those those little Debbie treats that you get all the time at the store that are only like $2? Not Twinkies, not moon pies. Oh yeah, it's a different type of pie. It's a cream pie. Yeah, that's in this a few times. But, nonetheless, let's go ahead and continue. You see, the episode itself starts off with the main girl, well, Mitaria. And she is exactly what you'd expect of an anime girl of high stature and high beauty. She's the student council president who cracks down on nothing but the overbearingly sexually perverted members of the male demographic of the entire school, constantly showing up and taking away their slutty magazines to make sure that none of them can get any sort of satisfaction from such a lewd thing. This entire exposition is given to us by none other than two beautifully entranced women off to the side, seeing her on the same subway bus as them. All they want is an autograph and to make sure that they can see such greatness that belongs in their school. They want to ask her things that a normal human would understand. Who's your favorite artist? What's your favorite time of day? And most importantly, what type of food do you like? Oh, Pure One. And she looks back at them and says, I like a fat fucking wiener. So that's a statement. That is a big statement right out the bat. Holy shit, that's a strong statement. Because she's doing nothing but explaining how much she likes these ground up meat sausages produced at incredibly low rates. And how much she enjoys them, giving visual aid to a pole the entire time because they're on a subway, just stroking a metal pole, making sure that everybody knows that this is an innuendo. Did you not understand that? Because I didn't. I had to have my grandparents explain it to me, and even they didn't get it the first time. But we all gotta end a joke at some point, and this is where that joke ends. They later travel to Mitaria at home with her favorite food, and she's enjoying it thoroughly, which is also attached to her brother. Yeah, we're starting off pretty strong. You see, this starts off at scene number 1. Scene number 1 starts at 3 minutes and 15 seconds and goes all the way to 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, what goes on in this scene is essentially, remember Alabama? It's an Alabama joke. But it essentially just builds up the whole thing with They're left alone. Their parents aren't there because they're away and they're kind of just enjoying their own time there. And damn. But after this whole scene, they end up traveling back to school in the exact same way that they normally did, going through their whole, school relationships. As the sister is fawned over night and day by the guys who think she's beautiful, and the girls who think she's a paragon of purity, and making sure that the entire school is set this way to make sure that everybody can enjoy a peaceful and relaxing time away from the lewd eyes of others. How much power do student council presidents fucking have in Japan? Because they didn't have dick when I was in high school. Because, they didn't do anything. They just changed the color of, a thing every once in a while. And it wasn't even a big thing. That's why I don't have a name for it. It's just a thing. But they just changed because they felt like it. It's so weird. Why do they have that much power? What powers do they have over there? But, yeah, I may be going a little off tangent because I really want to know what the fuck they keep doing to student council presidents. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and continue. I need to get that on, a shirt. If I ever make merch, I want to have nonetheless just across, where the pecs would be. But during said intervention, they end up, the brother and sister end up meeting again as I believe they were still at school, but then they head home during this, discussing that, in fact, the mother of the two is going to be coming home at some point, and they need to prepare ahead of time to make sure that they don't ever get caught during their escapades inside of each other. So, the brother comes up with a devious plan. He takes a saw and cuts a glory hole into his wall in between their rooms. Which, I can safely say, better not have been a load-bearing wall, because you might have done fucked up. But as they cut through it, there's kind of a test run that goes by, as they kind of understand, girl says, if you ever want anything, stick what you have through this wall. And the guy says, I also expect the same thing. So they have a little bit of a mutual understanding. Me with my blowjobs and you with all these fucking markers. So, they end up using it pretty much immediately on that same day, as they know that their mother is coming home probably at any time. So let's go ahead and play the dangerous game. You think that old man you think that old Russian man who hunts down people is the most dangerous game? No, this is the most dangerous game, because there are stakes that are thawing out as they fuck. No, I'm kidding. They probably are, though. They're pretty bad kids if they're, having sex all the time. You can't take the chicken out and defrost it when mom comes home because you're too busy fucking. But go ahead and get to the actual thing. You see, when they test out the hole, they lead into scene number 2. Scene number 2 starts at 16 minutes and 55 seconds and goes all the way to 26 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, during this time, as they're using the hole in the wall, series that was on Cartoon Network, by the way, Hole in the Wall. It was entertaining for the first few episodes, but then it eventually got canceled. Watch it. Check it out. It's super funny. But as they're using the hole in the wall, about midway through it, the daughter is essentially grinding her ass against the wall. And I don't know how many splinters you've gotten or some paint chips that are now inside of you, but that was a bad idea to begin with. Not to mention the guy 100% has splinters everywhere. And probably some drywall flakes just inside of everything. But in the middle of the whole thing, the mother comes home and they think, oh shit, and the girl, not wanting to put her pants on like a normal person, wraps herself up in a blanket and becomes a loaf, which can safely say it's an alright strategy, loafing up to make sure that nobody knows that you're naked. But maybe you shouldn't also still have your vagina pressed up against an open hole in the wall. So during this whole thing, she still has everything pressed up against the hole, and the guy's like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this erection go to waste. And continues to use it through this whole thing, because fuck stealth. I'm a paladin. I don't know what stealth is. Let's keep going. Luckily, the sister is a rogue who has enough stealth for both of them. So they kind of just get through the whole thing as they're convincing the mother that everything's fine, just go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. Oh God, it's getting deeper inside of me. Please go to bed, go away. Yeah, and it's pretty fair. The mother ends up falling for it and leaves the whole scenario while both the guy and the girl finish up their escapades. And at the very end of it, they kind of just come to an agreement that this hole is dangerous. And if they continue to have it around, they're not going to get a lot of stuff done because they're going to be a little too distracted. So, naturally they don't take that advice and they continue to use it. Which, that's a monkey's paw right there. You got something that you wanted, and now you can't get your schoolwork done. Damn shame. So, that's pretty much where the episode ends. And I can safely say, this is a dumb plot. This is a dumb, stupid porno plot, and I love it. But let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead and get into the way that we're going to rate these, because I can't talk about it if I don't rate it. Let's start off. Animation. Animation in this is an 8 out of 10. But it's an 8 out of 10 with a caveat. This is an 8 out of 10 because the character models in this whole thing, like the art of it, is a 9 out of 10. The animation itself and the movement to it is a 7 out of 10. It's kind of like a presentation where the information in the presentation isn't great. It's serviceable, like you're not going to fail, but the presentation itself is really good, and you don't want to stop them with all the effort they put into it. So 8 out of 10 when it comes to animation. Story and characters. Story and characters, this, like I said in the beginning, this is a porno plot. This is a straight up porno plot. This is dumb. This is stupid. This is just a way to show sex. And damn, I love it. You know, there's a certain YouTuber I love watching. Goes by the name of Decker Shadow. If you haven't seen him, check him out. He does a lot of movie reviews and horror movie and low budget movies. He has a saying called 2 out of 10. I love it. This is where I'm going to take that and I'm going to repurpose it. This is a 6 out of 10 plot. It's so dumb that it's awesome, that it's fun. But it's also so, like, aware that it's dumb that it just rolls with it. It's dumb, so it's no further above a 7, but it's fun dumb, so it's not below average. This is a 6 out of 10. This is stupid for the sake of driving home that there's going to be some sex. And I can't appreciate it enough. So, this is a 6 out of 10 plot. 6 out of 10 story. I love it. Which brings us down to the final measurement of the whole thing. What we're all really here for. The plot. And the plot, I can safely say, if you do me a big favor, look past the piss. And this is a 9 out of 10. Look past the piss and you can find a 9 out of 10. I know that's a weird statement, but look past the piss and you'll find a 9 out of 10. This is a series that the people who wrote it, when they were commissioning a story to be written, the guy who asked said, "Can you please give me a good sex scene?" And the creator of it said, "Go away, I'm making piss." And I don't know how to feel about that, but the scenes themselves that actually have sex in them, if you can look past those scenes, this is a Tarantino movie where you have just been aware that he has a huge foot fetish, and now you're looking at an amazing movie with a lot of toes in it. Just look past the toes, and you'll have an amazing movie. Look past the piss, and you'll have an amazing sex scene. And I'm not backing down from that. 9 out of 10 when it comes to that. Just look past the piss. And that's where we're going to end it. We're going to end it with an overall score coming up to a 7.5, but a high 7.5, so it rounds up to an 8. An 8 out of 10 when it comes to the actual scene itself. When it comes to the actual episode itself. This is a great one if you're not, like, slowed down by certain things, but it's also not one that I would recommend a first-timer. So, grain of salt, and then enjoy. But yeah, that's where we're going to end it. An 8 out of 10 for a great episode. So, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. I'm not wearing the hoodie. Why am I not wearing the hoodie? It's hot as fuck, and it's starting to get colder where I live in America. And, we got the heater going, and fuck, if we turn it down, it gets a lot colder. So I'm just gonna go ahead and not rock the hoodie for a little bit. Maybe when it gets a little bit better, or if I decide to like change it up, then I might put the hoodie back on. But I'm also trying to think of what I could do without the mask on, with like just this little fabric part, because the audio comes through a lot better. But I also want to keep up the whole visions of this. Maybe I'll figure something out. And yeah, once again, I want to apologize for the really spotty uploads. It's been like a week and a half since my last one, and I feel bad for that. But I'm also having my own little time trying to figure everything out. So, yeah, sorry about that in general, but until next time, I just want to end it off there. Until next time, thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure, and remember, have a nice day, don't be a dick, there's too many of them, and wash your fucking hands. I have been the Doctor. Thank you for the 164 subscribers and the crazy numbers that I've been getting recently. This is far beyond everything that I've expected, and have a great day. Peace.